Hello, everybody. We are back again this week to look at the markets. This week is going to be very explosive. I don't know how your week went. I have a very lovely week, and especially if you're in our Telegram group, we had a very winning trades, this week that just, went by. And no matter how your week, has been, whether it's good, whether it's not so good, I need you to see this week as a new week, as a beautiful week. Wake up with a lot of energy and ready to, win. So let's go again this week. Having said that, let's look at what the market is doing. Which is the reason why why this video is is on. We're looking at the dollar index like we normally do. Like I said, if you are new to this channel, I've said this so many times. It's very important for us to look at the dollar index. Why? Because it's a major currency. I mean, it's the world currency. That's what I call the dollar. If you listen to me over time, you've heard me say that so many times. Anyway, that's by the way. So basically, what we saw this week was that the dollar failed to break the support. If you remember last week, I was saying that this support is very crucial, and I was saying that if we break the support further down, the dollar is really going to crash. And the reason why we had this major pullback, if you've been following, the story of the dollar, you will notice that we have this major pullback after the Federal Reserve chairman spoke at the Jackson Hole event, and he spoke about the fact that they want to cut interest rates in September. So we had this major pullback, and especially this one. Sorry, that was last week. This particular candle, and then on Monday when we opened, we saw this pushback up. Price bounces off the support around 97, and then throughout the week, price kept coming down. So as we approach new months, starting tomorrow, um, the major events, there are two major events that are going to happen this month that people are looking forward to. The first data that we're going to be seeing is on Friday, which is a major event as well, which is non-farm payroll. Um, that event is also either going to confirm the fact that the Federal Reserve has no choice but to cut interest rate, or to actually look at the if we have a very good job report on Friday for the month, that will be for the month of August. The Federal Reserve might decide to, let's say, I don't know, nobody knows the amount of basis point they are going to reduce. Right now they might, go full throttle depending on what happens on Friday. All right. So this week is very crucial to what the decision is going to be on September 17th. So I haven't said that. I'm expecting that we see a lot of bounce around this support till that Friday report before we see a major, probably we have a bounce away from this support or a break of this support. So that is where to be seen till Friday. So that is for the dollar index. I haven't said that. Plus or minus, the dollar is still bearish. It's still very bearish. Though it's still sitting on the support, like I mentioned. But right now, it's still very bearish. So then that's why you've seen that every other instrument has been bullish. If you look at gold, gold finally, you know, since this support some couple of weeks ago, gold has taken off. Although gold is still within this range, gold has been battling between 3,500 and this support. So, like I mentioned, this Friday and September 17th is going to let us see that we see gold finally break out from this range, or we see price. See that we see gold break out from this place. All right, let me do that again. Pardon me. See that we see gold do this, okay? Or we see price, try to do this and then we come down. Depending, everything is depending on the data on Friday and September 17th. You see why this month is very crucial. So a lot of traders are waiting. What you will notice is that people are just cautious the way they are trading, and that's why you see that major instrument has been trading within range. If you notice this, gold has been playing around this range for some time now. We've been bouncing around this range for some time now, based on the fact that people are waiting for either they want to see if the Federal Reserve is going to resume interest rate reduction, starting this month. I think we still have 2 or 3 times to go for them to either for that FOMC meeting. It's at that meeting they normally decide whether they want to reduce the interest rate, or they want to keep it the same, or they want to increase the interest rate. So and if they start cutting interest rate, which is looking likely, I think I shared that on the chart last week, uh, that they are starting this month. The where everybody's waiting right now is that we want to know whether it's 50 basis points, or it's going to be a 100 basis point, or it's going to be a quarter of a basis point. That's what everybody's looking forward to, and then that is going to determine market reaction. All right, I would say that let's see what Bitcoin is doing. For Bitcoin, we've been pulling back. Since I saw this pullback on this candle close, this weekly candle close, I know it's going to really, really be bad for Bitcoin. So I'm expecting price to pull down all the way to around 98 going forward. If you look at the daily time frame, you will notice that price has been sitting on the support since Friday. Price has been sitting on the support since Friday. If I extend it, so I mean we've been our if you sitting on this range is we hit the support in July, and then price right now since Friday has been battling this area. We might see a lot of bounce around this place before Friday, before we see price pull back. But if you look technically speaking, if you look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin is looking for Bitcoin is already ready to really, really pull back before we continue that uptrend. I expect price to do this, to come to this zone. I mean, this is a beautiful price range to start buying again, especially in the light of the fact that the Federal Reserve, will start cutting interest rate. Bitcoin, over time, if you study the Bitcoin chart over time, you notice that anytime there's a aggressive interest rate reduction, Bitcoin always, go to the moon, like we always say. So I expect price to do this, to come to this zone based on what we have. Technically speaking, you know, price is likely to push to this side before we start pushing to the upside. I've seen other analysis. I've seen people say Bitcoin might even fall as low as 90,000, as low as even lower than 90,000. But I doubt that's going to happen. This is I believe the big money bank will rush in when they start seeing price below 100,000. All right, and like I mentioned, and don't forget that the moment the Federal Reserve start cutting interest rate, what you will see is that they will start printing more money to make money available for manufacturing companies and other businesses when they want to borrow money at a lower rate. All right, so having said that, let's move on to currency. Because of that news, see why it's very important, especially if you trade major currencies like pounds, USD, and the other, currencies. You will notice that it's very important to pay attention to what the dollar is doing. So we saw uh, um, the pounds USD bounce off of this support, and then we are battling this trend line, this counter trend line. I'm expecting price to push out from here, and we test, and then we continue to the upside based on what we have on the weekly time frame. And also if you go check the monthly time frame, because the month ends today, right? So we need to check how does it close, because it's important, to also check what does the monthly candle is looking like. So that it's looking bullish. So I'm expecting price to keep pushing to the upside. The fact that the Federal Reserve is going to cut rate is really going to push other currency like pounds to the upside. I'm expecting price to come. We have a retest of this major resistance to see if price is going to break it, or we are going to crash further. So that is made. That is what we're waiting to see and also play along. All right, for Euro USD, I think we called this support, this price here last week. Price around there. I called this on the Telegram group. If you are not on our Telegram group, you are actually missing a lot and leaving a lot of money on the table. So I'm going to encourage you to join us You will see the link in the description below. Ensure you click on that link and join. It's free, by the way, so you're not paying anything. Join us. We have right now we have over 1,000 people on that group, and it's growing every day. Or having said that, for Euro USD, how am I going to play this game for Euro USD? This is what I'll be doing this week, waiting to see what price is going to be doing around this zone. If I scale down to the 4-hour time frame, you notice that we're gonna be checking what price we do around this zone. If I see a pullback, a pop-up pullback and a bounce around that form support, I will be taking a buy probably around the zone and having my support below like so, and having my stop loss below this very strong support. That price has been bouncing around for like about 2-3 weeks now. All right. However, if I see price breakout aggressively from here, if I see an aggressive breakout and price pull back, I'll be taking my buy around this area. All right. That is how I wish to play this game. And also, if you're in the Telegram group, don't worry, I'll be dropping the signals if I see anything on Euro USD or any other app or on any other instrument. Pardon. So that is how I decided I'll be looking forward to play the game for pounds, Euro USD, pounds USD, to see if you're gonna have a pullback before price continues to the upside. For USDJPY, I mean this pair, I kept buying around this area and then every time it keeps coming back. You notice that for the whole of the month, from here is actually the whole month of August. From here, when price pull back, price has been bouncing. This can be a very annoying pair to trade. Any instrument that behave like this for trend trader like myself, it's always very difficult to trade because you can see that there's no breakout. It's been playing around that zone for the whole of the month though. No breakout, it's just there. Just bouncing around and around. For scalper, however, they love to see something like this. People that love to scalp, they just enter and quickly they are out. They buy, then when it gets there, they sell. All right. I'm actually because of still boils down to the decision of the Federal Reserve. That's why traders are very careful around the dollar JPY pair. They are waiting for that decision. If we all know that they're going to correct. The question right now is at what basis point are they going to cut the rates? All right. So if you have not joined my channel, ensure you do so. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share the video. And also, if you have any question, you can comment. I'll be personally replying you. All right. So let's move on to. I'm going to be, I don't want this video to be too long, so I'll just look at two more instruments. Let's look at the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq has been pulling back. One of my accounts where I've been trading Nasdaq, although I didn't call this in the community, I actually took the sell. I took this particular sell, and I did that when I saw this reversal pattern on the weekly time frame. Although for the Nasdaq, it's super bullish. It's super bullish. So this was just a quick sell for me, both the Nasdaq and the S&P 500. There are some of the pairs I really don't like selling because if you look at the charts, if you look at this chart on the higher time frame, just looking at it on the weekly time frame, even a blind man can see that this is a this is a very very bullish instrument. You'll be better off if you wait for pullbacks and then you buy. All right, there's nothing selling. I sold it last week, and S&P 500, same thing. I sold it around this area, But then you will notice that sometimes when you are trying to pick the top and then you're trying to sell, price can, if you're not careful, price can just do this. You see that you pull back and then do this. You pull back and then do this. Pull back and then every time it's creating what? Higher low. It's always creating higher low, which is a very bullish scenario. If price is moving like this on the weekly time frame, you'd be better off for you to wait for price to pull back. I'm actually looking forward to having indices really pull back, especially S&P 500 and then NAS 100 and US 30. I'm praying that we have that pullback for this, for S&P 500 especially. If we can have a pullback to 6,200, this is going to be a very beautiful place to start buying again. I'm looking forward to see price do this, dance around this area, and then pull back. Because as a trader, if you've been in the game for some time, you will notice that this is LD for the market. It's not it's not LD when you have an instrument that is just in one direction. It's just moving in one direction for a long period of time, and there's no pullback. Right? So I'm praying that we have this kind of pullback for S&P 500. This is bullish. This is clearly bullish. I always advise people that trade this instrument to always look for bullish scenario. There's nothing wrong with selling, like I mentioned, but sometimes you can be caught off guard. Trust me, I've been there. So I'll be calling the day there. If you have not joined our Telegram channel, make sure you do so. I'll be dropping the link in the description. Also, if you have not subscribed to this channel, ensure you do so. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Do have a beautiful, beautiful trading week. Thank you.